Thank you for joining me today. I have a story here for you. Exciting story, so stay tuned and here it is. It is mid-shift. And you are reviewing a patient who have been admitted overnight. The emergency is long. Home medication is inpatient orders, few as needed are at midnight. The labs are trending, but not clearly. The renal function is borderline. The patient nods politely when you explain the plan, but their questions tell you they don't fully understand why they taking half of the orders. This is where the pharmacotherapy actually lives. You pause before clicking sign, not because the medication is wrong, but because the patient is more complicated than the other set assumes. The age matters here. So does the adherency history. So does the fact that they fill one prescription regularly, never checked up others. You adjusted the order. You adjusted the dose. You discontinue what no longer has clear indications. You document your reasoning, knowing the next provider will need that clearly. Later, you chat a potential interaction during a reconciliation, knowing dramatic. Just one of these quiet risks that never makes into an incident reports. You intervene, you educate, you simplify the strength as much as you can without compromising the efficiency. The patient looks relieved when you say, let us make this manageable. This pharmacotherapy, as the describes it, not as abstract discipline, but a deliberately thoughtful decision making. It is weighing benefit against the harm. It is weighing the benefit against the harm. It is recognizing that non-adherence is not defiance. It is signal. It is known that the guidelines inform care, but the patient define it. By the end of the encounter, nothing about the patient looks special, dramatic, but the outcome is safer, clearly more human, and tomorrow that patient is more likely to take their medication correctly and understand why they are murdered and avoid be coming back through the same doors. That is the essence of a pharmacotherapy. Quiet decisions, interactional care, provider accountability. So the reflection question is thinking about the recent patient where the right medication on a paper did not fully fit the person in front of you. What adjustment did you make or wish you made it? And how might apply these pharmacotherapy principles change your decision next time? How might apply these pharmacotherapy principles changes to your decision next time? Provider reflection standard at the conjunction. You can feel it during the routine shift. The sense that the healthcare is changing. You can feel it is during the routine shift that the sense that the healthcare is changing around you faster than any single policy, tool, or update can explain. You enter orders electronically, review alerts, consolidate medications across the system that promise safety but still require your judgment. Technology helps, but it does not decide for you. It does not know which patient is overwhelmed, which one can safely self-manage, which prescription carries risky for beyond what flagged on screen. As a provider, you are practicing at a critical moment. Medication use has never been more powerful or more complex. Electronic prescribing, computerized orders entry, and integrated records reduce errors that once felt unavoidable, yet they also sharpen the responsibility resting on a clinician decision making. The tools assess, the accountability remains yours. This is where the pharmacotherapy becomes more than drug selection. The knowledge in this context reflects the voice of a clinician who understand that safety and effectiveness medication use is not achieved by guidelines alone. It is built through experience, managing common disease states, adjusting therapy when the patient in front of you does not fit the scenario, and coaching the patient to self-manage only when it is appropriate and safe. Each case example and explanation exists for a single purpose: to help you practice with a great precision, confidence, and impact. Over time, these skills combine. You begin to recognize which therapy improve outcomes and which quietly introduce harm. You prevented the medication-related problems before they surface. You improve care not only clinically but economically, reducing waste, admissions, and avoid complications. And in order so, you serve not just your patient, but the healthcare system and society at large. This does not ask you to memorize. It asks you to think, adapt, and lead. As a current or the future clinician, the promise is clear. With deliberate use of this knowledge, you can shape medication usage to be met a real goal, solve real problems, and make lasting difference in the care you provide today and throughout your career. It is toward the end of the day, when you are finishing orders on a patient you know well. There is nothing dramatic about the case. No crash cars, no alarm. But the decision still matters. You review the medication list on more than one time, aware that everything in theory represents both benefit and risks. Technology has helped you get here. Electronic prescribing flags duplication, lab trending are easily seen. Order entry moves faster than it ever did earlier in your career. But the final decision is still yours. You think about how much has changed. Prescribing errors that once slipped through more easily are now caught earlier. Computerized orders, barcoding, and share records make safer practice possible, but only if you remain intentional. The system supports you, but it does not replace your clinical reasoning. You still need to ask whether the therapy is appropriate, whether The dose fits the patient's physiology, whether the patient will understand how to use the medication once they leave your care. You recognize the weight of that responsibility. Pharmacotherapy is not just about treating the diseases anymore. It is about navigating complex, comorbidity, cost concerning, adhesiveness challenges, evaluating days, healthcare reform, and new technologies, and extending roles mean that the choice you make now will shape your practice for years to come. As you step back from the workstation, you are reminded why continue to build your pharmacotherapy skills matters. The cases, examples, and guidelines you apply are not academic. They are practical tools that help prevent harm, improve outcome, support patients safely, managing their therapy. When used well, this knowledge allows you to influence not only the individual patient outcomes, but the efficiency and effectiveness of the care across the system. This is the quiet impact of pharmacotherapy done well. Thoughtful decisions, safe medication usage, better outcomes for patients, providers, and healthcare system as whole. Reflection questions. Thinking about a recent prescribing or medication management decisions you made where technology provided support but your clinical judgment determines the final outcome. How did you balance the system guidelines with patient-specific factors? What in mind from this summary will strengthen similar decision making in the future? Managing what numbers do not show. The patient blood pressure is still high. Thank you for joining me today. This is one of the stories that I have here for you, and I am going to post more story like that. If you like it, please subscribe and let me know.